Hey guys, it's Brandon Schaefer back again with another commentary lesson video. And this one, it's an 8x16. So let's get into it. Right here, I'm just using like a 1 or 2 inch brush and I'm throwing on some yellow. And I just keep adding more layers on the corners where I want the more of an intense yellow. And I just blend it down to white as I get toward the horizon line there. And I was painting the edges there because I wasn't planning on having this painting framed. I actually gave it to a friend, so I painted the edges, and you'll see in the rest of the painting where I paint around the edges so she can just hang it on the wall without a frame. So right here I started adding in some green for the land and the grass, and up toward the sky, the farthest away, I added some white with the green, and as it gets closer to me I add more dark color. So that's really what you want to do. And right here I planned out having a little river. So I was trying to plan out how that was going to be. And see there I'm adding a darker green color there at the bottom, just to show distance in the painting. Because things farther away are kind of lighter, they have like a misty feeling. And I really wanted the focal point to be right there in the center of the painting, so everything's really light right there, and it just draws you in. And there I'm painting the dark little river right there. Kind of just using like a dark green or bluish color. It ends up being like a dark blue. And right here I'm just painting the edges on the bottom and such. You don't have to do this, not mandatory, but if you don't have money for frames and things like that, it just looks nicer if you paint around the edge. But alright, so I'm just mixing up some color here. And right now I very lightly mixed up like some brown color, but very lightly kind of put in some of the golden color from the sky. And I'm just drawing some a really faint tree with some branches. There's going to be like multiple layers of trees, so these are the farthest away, and as they get closer toward you and more down on the canvas, they get darker. But these are just really faint in the distance. They're kind of just, almost blocked out by all the light. They're just really faint. So you don't want it too prominent or anything. And all this is going to get covered up anyway, so you don't have to put too much detail in any of the branches. So kind of just throw them wherever you want. There we go, looking pretty nice now. So got the background a bit in, and here comes one of the middle ground, kind of one of the first trees. Just got a tad bit darker, not too much. Adding in a little more detail with the branches and such. Trying to make it look like a tree, kind of realistic. Same thing on the other side. So this one, you can tell it's a little farther away, just because of the lighter color there. So just continue putting on the branches there. And these are going to be cherry blossom trees, so really you can make the tree however you wish. Okay, and here I'm blocking in, after the grass was kind of dry, I'm blocking in a path with some light brown and just adding a little bit of white and give it some depth and a little bit of golden color. And I just want to have like a path, and I'm going to make a red bridge go across the river there eventually. Okay, here's another closer tree, so it's going to be a little darker than all the other trees. And the branches kind of get crazy right here. They start crossing, and it doesn't really matter. All of it's going to get covered up by leaves and little cherry blossoms, so it's not too detrimental to the painting. So pretty much just keep blocking in twigs and branches and those things. And here we go. Here's the closest tree to us. So, let me remind you guys, as you get closer toward you, things get larger. So keep that in mind. As the trees in the distance, they're a little smaller. And these closer trees, all the branches pretty much cover up all the background trees. Because if something's close to you like that, it's just going to block all your view. And right there on the right, I kind of suggest that there's a large tree in the foreground as well, and I put like a branch kind of connecting to the other tree, like it's reaching over the river, kind of symbolic. And there, just blocking the tree a bit with all the branches. Okay, here's where I start the foundation of the bridge. I put in the post, and then I start drawing the rails of the, painting in the rails of the bridge here. It's kind of like a little wooden bridge with like metal, metal rails or something. I did it like a red color just to kind of make it stand out and be the focal point of the painting. And I kind of like the color scheme that I had going on with like the green, red, and yellow with the blue water. It came out really nicely in the end, which you'll see here in a second. And since it's cherry blossom trees, I kind of gave the bridge kind of like an oriental look. So I thought that was cool. And I kind of like Japanese, Asian and oriental things like that. So it's kind of my style. And here I kind of lighten up the water there. I was kind of debating on how to make this look realistic. I was giving a shadow to the under the bridge there. And right here you can see I start adding in like a darker color along the edges and stuff. So you kind of just blend it around and make it look as realistic as possible. It kind of depends on what kind of water do you want. If you want like really dark water, or do you want like reflective water. And here I start adding in far away, like leaves that are on the far away trees, just kind of like a light pink golden color. And I probably should have did this before I layered on all those branches, but it really doesn't matter because it all got covered up. Here I start adding like a darkish red color, like for some darker leaves, because when I was trying to add on like the pink and white on the branches, and it just wasn't covering up. So I started with the darks, which if you followed any of my other lessons, that's what you have to do. You start with the darks and then you slowly layer to the lights. So here I kind of go back and forth between like dark ground, like a dark color and a middle ground color. And then I slowly start adding in the light colors, and I leave some of the shadows there just to make it interesting. Just mix up some red with white and add a little touch of yellow. Gives a nice like pinkish orange color there for the leaves. And then I get a little more detailed. I get a smaller brush and put in some more detailed leaves with highlights and such like that. Okay, and here I start adding in like shadows from the trees and just kind of confirming where the light source is. And here I noticed like the grass wasn't as green as I wanted it, so I kind of layered on some more yellow-green color there, kind of transparent, and darken up the trees on the shadow side here. Just kind of making some more contrast, because that's one thing that makes your painting stand out is contrast. And here I'm adding like, it looks like leaves that are falling off the trees are kind of floating in the water, so I thought that was a cool effect. And here I start drawing in some branches just to give it a little more detail. It's really starting to take some shape now. Just adding in more shadowing, more details. Just giving the grassy area some texture, and adding in some like leaves that look like they've fallen. Just little details. It kind of gets muddy here, like I don't know. I remember when I was painting this, I was like, I was really debating on what to do with it, but so I started adding in more grass, kind of cover up what I just did, but eventually I get it down to where I want it, and that's what you have to do. You have to just keep playing with it a bit, and just determine where you want the painting to go. Here I start defining the path a little bit more because I covered it up with the grass. And kind of highlighting it a bit, like there's light shining right through the trees there. A little bit on the water too. I'm just doing a little bit of touch up there. Here I start adding in like leaves, and highlights on the grass and such like that. See, the painting's just pretty much, it's pretty much done here. There we go, start adding in like the lighter leaves. Look like they've fallen off the trees. It's pretty neat effect. I think it really tied everything together. And I noticed when I signed this painting, and after I finished it, so you can see in the finished painting here, I actually added highlights on the trees on the light side. And that's one thing I didn't show in the video. But, sometimes you have to just wait a little while to see if the painting's done and then, sign it and things like that. So keep that in mind. Anyways, hope you like this lesson video. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe to these videos if you wish to see more. I'd appreciate it. And thank you for watching. Take care of yourself. Peace.